Hello. I'm sorry, but I've been trying to get online for like 5 minutes and it wouldn't get me in properly. So, let's talk a little bit glow in the dark stuff because, of course, you can use glow in the dark in anything practically. But especially for Halloween and for the winter holidays. So let me first say hello to everybody. So hi Judy, hi Chris, hi Ellen, hi Donna Lee, Sharon, Sonia, Fran, Susan, Francis, Kimba, Leah, Elaine, Lily, and Anjanette. Okay, so yes, I promised I will be putting these in the store. Hi, Eiffel Dog, thank you. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with glow in the dark. Now, when it comes to glow in the dark stuff, unfortunately, using simply the glow in the dark clay, you have to be aware of the fact that the glow in the dark part does not last for long because there are two types of substances that can give the glow in the dark thing, and the substance that goes in the polymer clay is the kind that doesn't last for long. It goes away after, I don't know, a minute or two. Hi Silver, hi Lauraline, hi Melody. But there are more things that you can do, and there's also I will be posting the links after the live is over. Actually, let me give you a link right now also, because you can get a dust, a powder that you can mix with polymer clay, or even in resin and in varnish and in all kinds of stuff. Let me find it. Where the heck is it? There we go. And you can find it at PolyClay Play. And of course, as clays, we have Fimo has a glow in the dark, Cernit has a glow in the dark, Premo does not. You can find the glow in the dark only in Sculpey 3, and I'll talk about it here in a minute. And Pardo has a glow in the dark. Now, the thing is that if you cannot find any of the other ones and you only can find Sculpey 3, then try to do a mix with the Sculpey 3 and Premo translucent. You would have to mix it with mostly translucent because white is very opaque, has a very opaque pigment, and you run the risk that the glow in the dark part won't be very visible, you know. But there are glow in the dark powders, and I did post the link to the powders on PolyClay Play, and you can see you can find all kinds of colors with it. The one that I have here is an aqua, and if you want to go Halloween, then you want to go with like a purple, like a green, the orange, of course, and make your own. But I will show you a few ways of using these powders with liquid clay, because it's much easier to use it like this. And I hope if tomorrow, because my shoulder's been killing me, and if at any time you hear me saying ow, 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 that means that I forgot and I reached with my left arm, because that's a killer. I'll just leave here for a couple minutes and then come back. But generally speaking, what you can do, and I'm going to do some stuff on white. I'm going to do on black directly on raw clay, and we shall put it in the oven and then, use a little bit of a heat gun on it. But let's first work with the liquid clay, because after that I will make a cane using glow-in-the-dark clay. So now we are going to work with liquid clay, and for that I'm going to use some liquid PolyClay. But of course you can use, if you have Sculpey, use the Sculpey clear, not the translucent, the regular translucent. And I actually have some liquid in a smaller thing. So what I'm going to do first is to get some black. Hi Zenta, hi Soile. Because I know with me, if it's not one, it's the other. It's always something that has to bother me when I try to do stuff. But tomorrow I'm seeing the orthopedist, and I sure hope that they're gonna do some, lidocaine or something injections in my shoulder, so I don't have to suffer so much. Hi Tanya, long time no see. And the other thing that you can do, and I'm going to show you, if you go in the resin section of my Amazon influencer store, I found some really neat resin molds. They're not resin molds, they are ice. They are for ice cubes. Give me just a second and I will show you. With skulls. So that is super neat. Huh. Okay, so these are normally for ice. So you can get ice cubes in the shape of skulls to put in the glasses if you have a Halloween party. As you can see, they look very Darth Vader-ish. But I can tell you that they come out neat, because I first used them on... What the heck, I'm shedding. I used them first on ice to make sure that the shape is okay. So what you do, but of course with this you'll have to use casting resin, not UV resin. So what you do, you have it first full like this, put together like this, and you mix your resin, but use mix some glow in the dark powder. The casting resin is made out of two parts, right, that you need to mix together to create the mix that does your resin. Whenever you're mixing anything in a casting resin, mix it only in one part, because until it's well mixed, because if you try to mix it after you mixed your two parts, by the time you finish mixing everything, your resin will already start hardening, curing, so it's going to be very hard to work with it. So put some glow-in-the-dark powder in one part of the resin. Another thing, be very careful, read the instructions, because some of the casting resins you measure by weight, and on some other ones you measure by volume. So be very careful what it says on the label of the resin, if it's by weight or by volume. If it's by weight, you'll have to use one of those little, you saw me using that little scale when I did the D-Stash live. So you mix some glow-in-the-dark powder in one of the parts of the casting resin, and then I suggest you also use some glitter. I fully intend to do a tutorial on that, but with everything that's been happening, I don't know when. And then you use one of these if you want to be very precise. If not, you can just use one of those pouring little cups, but use one of these to fill these pretty much right under the, whatchamacallit, how do you call this? I have no idea how you call this. Hi, Beate. Yeah, I don't know if there is a glow-in-the-dark powder that is not toxic. I don't know. Hi, Rusty. Yeah, it doesn't matter which of the parts you mix it to. And then the other thing is that you have to be careful when you have these blockish resin molds, because you will have air bubbles. So what you want to do after you filled it, gently tap like this. Not very high, because you don't want to have your resin start sloshing, but just a little bit. Or another thing that you can do, you can just take a pencil, something, and start hitting. So yeah, the hole, it's actually not just a hole because it's coming out. But so you do this, and these small little taps will make it. Oh, Karen. These little taps will dislodge air bubbles that are lower in, and will make them come to the surface and pop. Yeah, you can call it a lip, I guess. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. But if you mix also not just glow-in-the-dark powders, but some other glitters and other inclusions, the skulls will look pretty during the day as well. There you go, Zenta, color. You know, sometimes I don't really know the English name, especially when it's specialty words. All right. Okay, now we have a nice piece of black clay, and I'm going to use one of these on it. Yes, I do my own nails, and yes, they are my natural nails, and they are a pain to trim. Except that chemo kind of messed them up, and sometimes they start splitting right in the middle down like that, but they are still fairly thick. They are just a pain to trim. So on black you can do two different variants. One of the variants would be And hi, David. Hi, Anna. Okay, so you can do two things with on black. Okay, one of the things would be to get some glow in the dark clay and make a thin string. Yeah, I usually do match the project. But yeah, if your wife, I'm going to add what I used after the live, but tell your wife to go check my Amazon influencer store, because I made a special section, because I get so many questions about my fingernails, that I made a special section with the nail polishes I'm using. And this is magnetic. It's called cat's eye nails. And I don't know if you can see, but it changes. It's not very apparent in this very strong light that I have for the video, but in regular time, look on my look on my Facebook, as I showed them. Yeah, I inherited my mom with these. My mom's are even thicker. My mom's used to be like 1 millimeter. She was the bane of nail salons. When they were seeing her coming in, they would blanch. You could see their faces going pale, because she broke so many of their little nail cutters. Mine are not 1 millimeter, but they are not very far. And usually when I have to trim them down, it's a half-day process. Because especially with my hands not working well, I cannot really use very well a nail clipper, so I have to simply file them down. So it takes a while. Okay, so if you want to use a, of course, if you want to use an extruder to get really thin and even threads, you can do that. If not, just do it by hand and use the acrylic block to make them even. So make it approximately even by hand, and then simply use the acrylic block to even it out all over. And to extend it, like you see here, it's a little bit thicker. You do like this and you move towards the end. See how it went over. So let me actually try and make it even thinner than this, so it wouldn't be too. And of course, these you can make earrings, you can make pendants, you can use this on bracelets, of course. There we go. Now we have a nice and thin one. Let me put my eyes on. And we start and build a spider web. Let me get a helper here. So start at the wherever you want your middle of the spider web to be. And you can actually do it completely all over. only that at one point you'll have to go from the middle, because otherwise you'll get a whole bunch of clay pulling up here. Hey. Oh, hold on, I don't see what I'm doing. There we go. This is one of my wax carvers that I prefer to use for sculpting. But you can use your X-Acto knife for this as well. Let's go like this. Okay, then what we do, just don't put them straight. That's the main thing. Oh, come on, stay there. And you simply design your spider web. Thread by thread. Come on, get out. It's not very hard. It's a little bit time consuming, but if you don't have anything else better to do this, you can easily use this. Now, if you want to use just the Sculpey 3, be aware of the fact that Sculpey 3, even if you cover it with resin, even if you cover it with liquid clay, because Sculpey 3 will start crumbling by itself after more than a year. I had the first time I came to the US, because back in Romania when I started working with clay, I worked of course with European brands, and when I first came to the US and I started to work with clay here, the first place I lived in was kind of like a boondocks of Oklahoma. It was a city in southwest Oklahoma named Altus. So of course I got whatever I found at the local Walmart, and of course whatever I found at the local Walmart was Sculpey 3. And because at the time, I'm talking 1999 here, at the time there were not so many books, at least available for me there. The internet was just in the beginning. What was pretty oh, just with the lines? Yeah. So I made some little things with Sculpey 3 and stuff until when I moved to Oklahoma City, I was able to find better quality clays. But imagine my surprise when I had some little figurines that I had sculpted, and if you've ever seen my small pixies and okay, this was not very good, and fairies and stuff, I make the fingers and toes and all that very detailed and very small. Some of them can be as thin as this. And imagine my surprise, and I had a little pixie in the china cabinet, and when I went to dust and clean the inside of the china cabinet, all the little fingers were broken, were in crumbles. So Sculpey 3 crumbles by itself after a while. It's like it's depolymerizing or something. So don't use it by itself. Mix it with Premo translucent or something, because even if you cover it with resin or liquid clay, it's going still to show the cracks. So, but that will happen in time. Oh, spider webs, usually when I go out to take the trash out to the curb and it's early in the morning, I do a little bit of karate or aikido or something, because there's always some spider web I blunder into. Okay, this one is not that terrific. Okay, stay there. Oh, and by the way, I changed for this, for October, I changed a video on the home page form, and I need to change it for the existing subscribers too, to the video, the tutorial that shows you how to make a voodoo puppet and the burlap fabric cane. And if you go on my channel and you click on the playlists tab, you see there's a playlist that says Halloween projects, and there's quite a few lives there, but there's also a translucent spiderweb cane and the Jack Skellington cane. Okay, so we got this. And remember, this one, whenever you go from to a party to something, yeah, no, in the glow in the dark, I would go like 1 part Sculpey 3, 2 parts translucent, because otherwise you lose a lot of translucent. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the mix. I hope I managed to do it correctly, because I did stuff like this before. But let me grab a popsicle stick. So I'm going to, I'm going to put a little bit of Kato liquid clay in here. And I need to put a little, quite a bit of a little, because otherwise it's going to be hard to transfer. And I wasn't able to find my needles. Because I have needles with a blunt tip that you can use for like a henna tattoo, but with liquid clay. Okay, now let's grab a little bit of glow in the dark. This should be enough. Hi, Christy. Hi, Janice. And mix it real good. And yes, you can do this with resin too on top of other stuff. Just don't use UV resin. I mean, you can try. I never tried that, but I'm afraid that the glow in the dark powder might not be transparent enough to allow the UV resin to cure, you know. So try first on a little piece of something, on a piece of paper. Sideboard. Your best thing to do, yes, you can do that, but your best thing to do is to use one of those old style home entertainment centers, you know, the ones that look like kind of like a wardrobe that you close the doors for the TV, and then have somebody make you a folding table on it, and then some shelves on the doors of it as well. Okay. Now I made only a little bit. This is for people who want to do a larger quantity, of course. I'm going to leave it at the entrance of the bottle. So I don't have to worry too much about it. But when the time comes, I will show you how to do stuff on Christmas ornaments. And by the way, you can clean liquid clay using alcohol. Always, always, always. Okay. Let's make sure that I'm in a good... I might have to make a little bit more mix. Yeah, I need more mix. Sorry. I'm gonna just put regular clay because I don't want to waste so much because I'm only making one piece, so. I just want to show you how to do it. And before you ask, yes, I used to do henna tattoos too. Oh, I didn't say bye to Lily. Hi, Jade. Come on. Just wants a lot of clay. Just a sec. I'm just gonna get some crappy stuff here because I can still use it to put stuff together, because that's the only thing I use, the regular translucent Sculpey clay. It's not really very good for anything else. I'm not talking about the new translucent, the clear. I'm talking about the original TLS. Okay, I hope now I have enough. No, it still doesn't want to. It just needs a whole bunch of liquid in there to work properly. That's why I wish I had found my needles. Did it even come close? Yeah, it's starting to. Sorry. I didn't put it in the thing before because I wanted to show you how to do it. Oh, come on. You can use this, but the filament will not be as fine as using one of these bottles. And the bottles, you find them in the applicators section in the influencer store. Okay, now this should be enough. Yeah, I have to. I was talking to a friend and I said that because there's a specific thing I cannot find, and I know I ordered it. I remember when it was delivered in the mail, but I have no idea where I put them. I said I need to order a new one just so I can find the old one. Come on. Okay, there we go. Where's my... There we go. And you can start like this, or you can directly start with the, let me get this out of the way because it's a little harder to work with this here. Or you can start directly with the squigglies. Okay, I messed up a little bit here, but that's fine. You know, I don't do henna tattoos anymore because my hands are hurting after a while. And then again, and this, no, it's different, David, it's a different consistency than the henna mix. It's like trying to squeeze Elmer's glue. Okay, so you have this. Let's see if I can find this. Come on. There we go. All right, so you can use stuff like this to do your I messed one up here, to make earrings or pendants or stuff like that. And then of course you can use it to make the eyes and the mouth of a pumpkin, you know, the jack-o'-lantern. So in order to do that, I'm going to get some of this. Hold on. And we are going to make a little Skinner blend. All right. So let me get this through the machine. And I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow and a little bit of orange. No, these I got from Nemravka. I showed on the Facebook page, on the Kalyana Facebook page. They are Melanie Muir's cutters. And they have a whole bunch of nice cutters. Let me try and give you the link. Okay. They are in Europe. Just be very aware of the fact that the prices on their website are in Czech crowns. So when you're talking about buying stuff, they have a whole bunch of cutters. But if you want to buy stuff, you need to go to an exchange rate, and you just go on Google. You know, let me actually switch to the display. You go on Google and you put this is the symbol for the Czech crowns, and you see that on the first page the last one is one that's 199 Czech koruna. So if we put there 199, you see it's actually $8.51 for that set. Of course you will be paying the shipping, but I got like 6 or 7 different cutters, and then some Darby varnish and some other stuff, and I paid for the whole thing close to $50 including shipping. So it's really worth it, because here in the US we don't find this stuff, you know. And you can see that the small cutters, see the double set where you get 8 tiers is $389, and that's $16.64. It is way cheaper than buying, I'm gonna be very honest, it is cheaper than buying it from Melanie's own website. But they have a whole bunch of cutters that are all awesome. As you can see, all kinds of shapes and stuff, and including Fimo cutters, because I got a Fimo cutter as well. See, they have a whole bunch of Melanie's cutters, and they have their own cutters also. See, like this is a Fimo cutter, and it's 99 crowns, so that makes $4.23. So it's pretty much almost like the Makins cutters here, only that they are much better, right? Okay, so yeah, but I suggest if you want to buy something, a budget to buy more, so that the shipping per item will not be that bad. Okay, let me grab clay. And I am going to tell you a secret. Yes, this is Fimo, but I did mix it with some Premo translucent, so that I would have the same consistency practically, because it's much easier for me to work in a live with Premo than with Fimo, because it takes much longer to condition Fimo and work with Fimo than it takes to do the. And then I have some black here. Okay. So theoretically, and I did that because I don't have the Sculpey 3 glow in the dark. I only had the Fimo glow in the dark. So let's get, I'm going to cut this in a way that would be easier. And for the ones of you who are used to the regular Skinner blend where you cut the triangles, let me give you a tip. Get my tip first. use the making scutters, because you can use, you know that usually to measure I use the square one that's an 1.5 inch, but you can also use the making scutters, and the making scutters are super cheap. They are like, let me show you, PolyClay play, they are beyond super cheap. And the 3-piece sets are a little less than $2, or $1.95. So let me grab the airplane. Let me find the triangle for you. Square. You know, well, let me just give you the link to the cutters, because it takes forever for this to load. Hey. Hold on, I messed up. Okay, and you find there the triangle. Now, I'm going to measure, and I'm going, the thing is that when you mix glow-in-the-dark clay with colored clay, it will have a little bit of the color of that clay that you put in. Even in the dark. But if you have the glow-in-the-dark powder, you can replace this by mixing the powder in some translucent. Okay, let me get all these on the same thickness. All right, and let me get the black too. So you can do it in several ways. First of all, essentially what I need the most is the translucent. Yeah, I'm trying not to. I'm using the translucent and the alizarin crimson. So I'm going to get one, a second one, and a second one. Now, trimming these, and I'm going to double them. Yeah, I know you can, Maxwell. I just wanted to tell you not to be scared by the prices you see there. And I'm going to put them like this. Now, because here I have a stack, right? I'm going to cut these in half. Stack them. And put them at the end. Now, if I start to make this Skinner blend, it's going to be kind of pinkish here, right? So let me, where's my, there it is. Let me get it through the pasta machine once. This is some translucent glow in the dark. So at this point, I'm going to get it a couple more times through the pasta machine. Well, you want to have it the height of this. And you know how it widens up. And at this point, I'm going to, this is my last orange, so I'm going to use it pretty much as is. Let me see. As much I can get out of one piece. And then I am going to use, this is sunshine yellow. You can use cadmium yellow as well. It will be just fine. But look where your alizarin crimson starts, pretty much. And see, if you would divide this in 4, get 1/4 of it to go past the line of your alizarin crimson. And then here, place the orange. Now let's get it through the machine a little bit. I think it was like 8 days or something like that. And now we can start folding. I know it's going to be, the middle is going to be a little bit wider, but as you pass it through the machine, it's going to kind of even out. Just make sure that you keep your lines on line, that your lines don't start going. Okay, let me see if my other one got, no, it didn't. Give me just a little bit, let me. Let me try to reenact the pasta machine one. Nope, it doesn't want to. Now this is the display. Yeah, I didn't manage to get under the table to fix the, so no, it doesn't work, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I was going to show you the pasta machine how I'm doing it, but unfortunately I can't. Okay. And at this point, I'm going to start rolling it because that helps with hurrying up the Skinner blend. Again, make sure that you kind of get color on color, because this is how you even it out. And use your acrylic block You might have to add some more yellow. Hi, Donna. And again, the same thing. I might have to get some cadmium yellow. And see how this one came like this? Make sure that you pull it back this way, so you have line on line. Okay, at this point I'm not happy. I don't have enough bright here, so I'm going to add some more. And let me add another square. And the other thing that I'm going to do is to add a sliver of black on this end. Why I didn't do it before now? Because I didn't want it to come too far in, because I only want this very edge darkened out. So let's go once through the machine. And then do again a fan. Now see how it pretty much equalized? Now why does it look like this? Because this will be the glowing eyes and mouth of the jack-o'-lantern. So we need to have the glow of the fire. And the thing that you need to keep in mind, and I'm going to put a touch of cadmium yellow here. If I have any here, I might have to grab some from the back. Sunshine yellow has a more greenish cast, but I try to use it first because it also has a much brighter cast. So let me get this through the machine a couple times. And I'm going to insert it here, pretty much. And careful about the air pockets. See, there's an air pocket here. You see it? Right here. And you always want to cut. Don't use a needle to poke because you might not give enough room for the air to escape. Okay, it's all out. So I'm gonna get it in half. Get it line on line. And then I'm going to insert some yellow here, right here. And before anybody asks me why, because it doesn't look good to me. I always have people asking me, why did you do that? I have no idea why. It just doesn't look good. You can get them at PolyClay Play. Polyform makes several colors in 1 pound and only like 3, the translucent black and white in 8 ounces. But you can get, in 1 pound, you can get white pearl, gold, silver, white, black, translucent, and translucent white, white translucent, cadmium red, cadmium yellow, ultramarine, ecru, and I think that's it. They used to do the green also in 1 pound, but they don't do it anymore. So let's stabilize this one too. And I have an air pocket here. Alright, now I'm gonna just do the Skinner bend. should be good enough. You don't have to make it perfectly perfect. Hold on, let me get something here. Now we are going to do the middle of the pumpkin as well, and for this I have some burnt sienna, that's also Premo. Yeah, it does look a little bit like that, doesn't it? Now, if you look at this, you will see that the glow in the dark went pretty far, kind of like all the way to here. Okay, now I got some burnt sienna. Let me grab me some colors here. Only going to get one of black. And I'm going to cut it like this, actually. And I'm going to use this. This, I know I have a very unorthodox way of doing Skinner blends. No, it's really bad. And then this would be exactly as another square. And just because I want one pinch of reddish, I'm going to put a sliver of alizarin crimson here. And then I'm going to work this straight. That is nice. Yeah. That is true. Okay, now I'm gonna do some plug. To get it faster. Why why do I say that rolling it makes it faster? Because normally you fold to get the Skinner blend. Now when you roll, you have like several times more folds, right? So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 folds, pretty much. At once. So it makes the blending faster. Now I have too much yellow here, and I don't want all this yellow here. I want it to be just lightening a bit the brown. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this. See how I rolled on a diagonal, right? And I'm going to flatten it, get with it through the machine. Then roll it again. Now this time I'm going to push in the ends. And again flatten it, get it through the machine. Then again fan fold. Why I'm doing so much this? Because this will be the body of the pumpkin, and we only need a little bit of that yellow, so that would be, you know, just a little bit of light on the pumpkin itself. So now we have pretty much what we need. Yeah, when you don't have a machine, it always gets much faster if you roll. Okay, now this is exactly what I wanted, and I'm going to cut and stack it. So I'm always getting 1 inch in the middle. So I lift this one and I put it with the straight part here, and then this one and I put it with the straight part at the other end. Now make sure that they are well stuck to each other, otherwise they'll start. What machine do you have, David? So this is on the thicker setting. Now I'm going to get it on a much thinner setting, and then on an even thinner setting. this one worked well enough. And I'm sorry, but Whisper wants to go outside. And as you know, I do not dare to tell him no. I'll be right back. Yes, you can go outside. Yeah, they are 180s, but if you cannot spend a lot of money to buy a new one, because you have the motor already, you can get the Makins. Makins is 180. No, I did not. Okay, so this is 1 inch wide, right? So I'm going to start the fold on 1 inch. And as you know, I normally don't like to fold as much as I like to stack. Yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, by the way, don't do what I just did. Because I just realized that I'm not showing you how to do stuff right because I'm just using my fingernail. I'll show you on this one how to do this. So once you did this, now you do this to lift the clay, not with your fingernail like I just did. And if it gets too big, too tall to handle, simply start a new stack and you just put it at the bottom of the old one. Good morning, Natalia. Yeah, around $100 is Makins. Okay, now I've got this, right? I'm going to start extending it, reducing it in length, but I don't want to get and we are going to use 6 segments, let's say. Natalia is the first name. Usually in Eastern Europe you first put the family name and then your first name. I'm going to reduce this to 2 inches length. And I don't know why I took out both of these. And now, what I need to do is to reduce it in length just like this. Oh, the ice cream truck is on the street. Because now it will get back to 1 inch, because it got a little bit smaller. Yeah, it does, doesn't it, Francis? So and you want them to be kind of like in between a quarter of an inch and half an inch. Let me go let Whisper back in. Okay, now I'm gonna have to cut this in 3, and I'm going to actually use centimeters. And I have 9 centimeters because it's easier than 3.5 inches. So all right, now watch this. Pinch the ends on all 3. It does look like caramel, doesn't it? And make sure you push them back because they'll want to see. Now, you want them to be curved with the dark one inside. So, I'm going to get this like this. Then this one, I'm going to extend the this one actually has to be the thinnest of all, the one on the edge. And you have this, which is pretty much like a half circle, if you want, pretty much. So I'm going to start reducing this. If it is hard for you to reduce a half circle, just get these, make double the quantity and reduce into 6 segments. And then you'll just put them together. And you don't want it to come out at all, so and it's good enough for me to cut it in half. put it together. Cool, huh? Okay, I'm having a little bit of issues reducing with my shoulder. Yeah, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And also don't forget that if you missed when I said it, if you missed the beginning, I have like close to 600 public videos, tutorials, and because it's kind of hard to find them otherwise when you're looking for something, go to my home page on my channel, you know, like when you click on Kalyana design tutorials under the video, and then click on playlists, and you'll see that I did try to make your life much easier, and I kind of arranged my videos in playlists. So, you know, if you look for something in Mokumegane, if you look for something in mica shift, if you look for imitation of gemstones, it will be much easier for you to find it. Now, it's going to be something interesting, not what you were expecting. I hope it doesn't disappoint you. Okay, now I'm going to do something really weird. Let me find my... But first I need to do the cut. Sorry, first I need to do the cut. Okay. Don't get scared. Alright? Don't get scared. Actually, I need one that's a little bit more flexible than this, but not too flexible. Yeah, this should work. Go, so if you have the half here, right, make a point here and a point here. Then at about half the half, make another nick here so you can see what you're doing. And then I'm going to try to do it on the camera because I cannot put my head over it. So I'm going to try and do, see, bend your, you're gonna have to have a soft blade, not a rigid one, a flexible blade. Bend it pretty much that you have the middle on the nick you put here and the edges on the two nicks you put here at the middle, and cut straight down. I know you're gonna say, oh my god, what did you do? Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Okay, now it's going again to be a matter of taking measurements. I'm gonna do one here, one here. Extend the one here, here. Alright, so we go. I mean, you have to have them on both sides, the measurements. And count, so if I have one here, another tooth here, I'm counting the teeth, okay? And another tooth here, so you're gonna have 3 teeth, practically. It's going to sound a little bit hard to do, but trust me, you can do it. I trust you. You trust me and I trust you. Okay, so I'm going to cut in here on the bottom and here on the bottom. And on the top, I'm going to cut in the middle. Okay? So, open it up. Then, again, hold it straight, straight. Take it out, put it here. See, just make sure that you align with the skinny blends here. Then the same thing on this one. So down straight, down straight. Take it out. Okay, don't cut all the way. Take it out. Use the notches here to place it here. And don't worry, as you do the whatchamacallit, the reducing, it's going to look just fine when you cut the slices. Now we have the notch here and the notch here. Now straight down, straight down. Take it out. Use the notches here to put it here. And at this point, remember, we have this, right? Now I'm going, this is about 2.5 inches. I'm going to cut an inch of it. It's almost 3 inches. And the rest I'm going to keep because we're gonna have another tutorial on it. Surprise, surprise. Okay, approximately 1 inch. And first I'm going to put it through, this is the width of my machine. I'm going to put it through a thinner setting. Like, because remember that was the thickest. I'm going to put it through like through a 3. It was on a 1 on Makins. Then I go on a 2. Oh, I put it on a 2, and then now I'm going to put it on a 3. And it's almost as I need it. Going to just have to do a little bit more in the middle. I could have done it differently, but I don't want to mess up what's left. What the heck is wrong with my thing here? So just go widen this up a little, and then we are going to put it through in length, this time like on a 6. 7. Now I'm going to trim it to be the, I can do it a little bit longer. Now I'm arranging my thing here to be about the height of the cane. So I'm just gently pulling, and that way it stretches in length and it becomes less tall. Thank you. Okay, now here I need to cut this end. It's too much. And now watch this. So this is going to be the top, right? I'm going to measure. So you go a little bit longer than this. Number one, I need to have this straight at this end as well. So a little bit longer than it would take to do this. So about here. And I start placing it. Starting here. You don't want to start at the very edge because you don't want that to be too. Okay, I didn't make it thin enough. I'm gonna have to go and go again through it. To make it thinner. Let me extend it a little bit more. On the bottom, we are going to put it on the bottom. And I'm going to come back with it, so it should be good like this, but I need to cut the extra, because as I said, I didn't make the end, wasn't, I made it a little bit too tall. Okay, so we have the darkest part here. I'm going to put another dark part on the bottom, so pretty much double. Because here we have only one tooth, remember? This is the tooth. Just make sure that you keep your edges without this. And now, of course, this one is going to be a little bit lighter, but I'm going to start going back and forth with this. And I stop before it starts getting orange. I'm going to go until it starts getting yellow on the bottom. And again, keep your very edge without the flame hold thingy. And I'm going 3 times and cut. And now I'm going to go on the other end. Oops. Okay, I messed up here, so I'm gonna just cut this, it's fine. And I'm going to start placing it on the other. And as you can see, it starts getting rounder as you go, but you don't want to go all the way. We're gonna stop about here, because you don't need all of it. And now we are putting it together again. And yes, it will involve bringing this and, hold on, let me not put it together yet. Making sure that these ends are completely free of the orangish stuff. I could have cut out the thing, but it's a more difficult way of doing it, so I'm trying to show you, as always, something that's not very difficult to make, but it still comes up nice. And just push these together here, and the same here. Pull a little up, pull a little down, and now we got the mouth. Now our next thing is the eyes, right? I don't know, it happens. That's the same way as Whisper wants to go outside or wants water or something, only when I sit down to work on stuff or I start a live. Okay, next thing. I'm going to take this and I'm going to roll it. I don't know, I hope I have enough. If not, I'm gonna have to get another piece of the, yeah, it should be fine. Let's see. No, it's not enough, actually. Let me grab another piece of this, because I still have plenty for the final project. I'm gonna get this, and of course I need to cut with the sharp part of the blade if I want to be successful. Okay, and I'm going to go to equalize this. Now, because I went this way, I'm going to make it with the light on one side. So if you remember, I think it was also on the pumpkin cane that I did last year, the 3D pumpkin cane. So I'm going to go until it starts getting orange. Right? Now I'm going to get it only on half. Until it starts getting brownish. And now I go all around again. And this is going to be it. Bye, Chris. Okay, now I'm going to start reducing this. It's already very soft, so I hope it won't distort too much. Because at this point, normally I would put the cane in the fridge. As unfortunately, all three elements that went into this were fairly soft. And I worked this so much that it got all softened up. And what you want to do, you want to get it about double the length of your cane. Now remember, whenever you do a jack-o'-lantern, the eyes always have to be triangular. If you put the eyes with the triangle point down, the jack-o'-lantern will be mean. If you put the eyes with the point up, the jack-o'-lantern would be nice. I mean, this is how human brain perceives stuff. And to make my point, hold on. See, if you have a face, not with this one, this is not a good point. If you have a face, so the similar face, right? And we have the mouth like this. Well, of course, I'm doing a if the eyes are triangles point down, it looks mean. If the eyes are triangles point up, it looks nice, as in good, not mean. Okay, I'm pretty much at that. Now at this point I'm going to turn it into a triangle. So I first pinch the top. I have this. I turn it on the side, pinch the top, turn it on the side, pinch the top. Now I have two triangular thingies that might be too big, and they are too big. I'm going to get one of them reduced some more. Now, point owl. Yep. Amazing, huh? And see, I plugged it in. Okay, let me try and show you how. So I poke it in and then I start pulling down on both sides because I want to make the eyes with the triangle up. Now I'm going to go on this side, see exactly where my points are. And I'm going to go like this, poking down, to create my triangles, because I need to know where exactly. And then I'm going to do a slight cut again, careful. First straight down, straight down. Now I can pull it out, and I'm gonna go a little to the side, a little to the side, and then kinda straight. It's okay, I mean, because it's going to shape itself by the triangle you're inserting there. Just remove the stuff that's cut here. Make sure that the only thing is that you need to make sure that you place the white spot in the same direction. So I'm gonna put one here and one here. And now I'm gonna put this together again. And we got our thing. Let's reduce it some more and cut. Yes, it does. But remember that at this point I'm going to have some deformation because the cane is super soft, super warm, and I cannot put it in the it didn't cut properly and all that, but normally you need to put it in the fridge when it gets so warm before starting to reduce, because I had questions all the time, why are my canes deforming? Because you don't stop to cool them off. And this is exactly what I did here. So my eyes might be a little bit skewed. Yes, they are a little skewed. But normally, I did skew a little bit here as well. But normally when you take the time, and I'm going to do probably a better tutorial, not a live, on this, so there wouldn't be any hurrying. I cannot even cut it properly. There, much better. Yeah, candy canes are very easy. Okay. You didn't? Okay. What may sting? What did I miss? What might sting? Yeah, Jack has eye implants. But anyway, pretty much this is how you do it. Only that, as I said, let it cool off. Because see how my teeth got softened? They shouldn't get softened. Your cane should be cold enough and firm enough that it shouldn't get softened. Before you do any of the cuts, you need to cool off the cane so that your cuts would be straight and nice. But generally speaking, you get something, you get the idea. Okay. Yeah, you need to take the time for you not to allow your cane and not to work with your cane when it is too soft, too warmed up. But pretty much this is what you do. And remember, these have glow in the dark. So the best thing that you can do with these, because we have a whole bunch of them now, and your best bet with these will be, hold on, let me not reach too far. These will glow in the dark. And I'll show you a trick now. Yeah, wavy blade might do a good thing, but I normally cut them square, but that's a little bit more complicated, and I wouldn't even think to try with the cane this soft. That's why I did the triangles. Okay, now let me show you a trick. So I have this, right? Cut it in the middle. Cut it in the middle. You don't have to do Natasha's. If you're thinking a four-sided Natasha, no, I'm not doing Natasha. Okay, then turn them around, you know, kind of like, and you'll see why I'm doing this. Now put them together. You do not want Natasha, okay? Put them again together, back to back. And you just have to think how this will glow in the dark. Because everything that's a bright light, it's going to glow in the dark. Let me grab the square pairs. Let me actually try and do this, because you want them to be nicely together here. And you can push it back in. That's fine. It will work just fine. Okay, now we can use the square pairs. Yeah, I should, huh? But you're gonna still get a lot of light from the monitor, so I can try. Hold on a second. Let me first make them. You want them slightly rounded here. Same on this one. So press on the opposite sides and then get it again longish. The owl. Oh yeah, let me grab the flashlight, because that might show better. And we got some really neat beads. Huh. Okay, let me grab the UV flashlight. Oops. Where's my... There it is. Hi, Debbie. Okay, let's see. try and turn off this one too. It's too much, too bright. Oh. I don't know. In real light, I can see it, but from my side. But because you cannot even see this, because of the way that let me try and make it a little bit darker, because maybe you'll see better. No. It's hard to catch a proper dark light on a regular camera, but you can still figure out. See, when I have the light on this one, you can see this one. See, they do shine a little bit. They do have a little bit of night glow. Okay, see, we can see now. Yeah, when the light barely touches it, that's when you can. Now it's the best. Let me get it a little brighter, just a little bit. Okay, there, you saw it? Okay, let me do it again. Let me UV the crap out of them. Okay, I'm taking it off. But you see, it doesn't last for too long. So yeah, but they make awesome beads like this. Okay, I really need to go lay down. My back has started to hurt me, and I've been on for over 2 hours. Yay, amazing, huh? My back is hurting and my shoulder is hurting. So I hope tomorrow the doctor gives me a shot in my shoulder so that my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore, and I'll be able to do a lot of stuff next week. Thank you for being here, and I'll be showing you more stuff anyway next week. Okay? Have a wonderful Sunday. Happy claying.